Yeah, how'd you feel about that one? You got a man or a woman down 25 minutes in.
Yeah.
It's tough to deal with, but it seems like you guys handled it okay.
Yeah, it was tough to deal with, but I mean, in reality, we had the same back line. We were just one forward down, you know. That just meant more work for everybody, for our forwards, our defense, for me out there. But I think the team did a really good job of fighting and staying with it. And being one man down and still honestly being the better team, I think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, especially, I mean, they got you last year, so.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can remember that clearly, like last year, but.
Oh, yes.
Did you feel like there was a big difference in terms of the way you guys performed today versus when you faced them last year?
Definitely. I remember last year we could not get our style of play going, and then we had Ansley go down last year. We broke the scoreless streak too. It was a big game last year. I remember that one. I think this year we're many steps ahead of last year. Coach Ross even mentioned after the game, like being a man down and still being able to see our style of play out there and our game plan. Like we did a really good job. So yeah, way better than last year.
You were facing a lot of pressure late in that second half. How did you handle that? What was going through your head?
Man, there was a lot going through my head. Big one was you got to do anything to not get scored on. There was a kind of that gut feeling that, we're probably going to go out of here with a tie, and all I could do is just not let anything go in. And, that comes with staying really focused and in tune with the team. Yeah.
You had that near spell towards the end. Was there like a little freak out, or was it just dive on it?
Oh my gosh. I wasn't that worried in the moment. I was just, I made the initial save and I was like a little surprised, and I was like, oh my god, the ball's still here. So, I just dove on it. But it was all instincts at that point. Yeah.
Ready.
I have to imagine you have to be pretty organized to look like the better team 10v11. How did you guys pull that off today?
First of all, I really liked how we started the game. We know they're a high-pressing team. They're a team that can be direct if we put pressure on them and kept the ball better and moved the ball with purpose. We knew we'd get some opportunities. Going down a player, we had to adjust tactics, and one thing that I'm walking away from this game is I'm very proud of our team. Didn't panic, continued to play. We had to change a few things up top, but otherwise, I thought we weathered the storm there for a while. Obviously, when you go down a man, you're going to be under a lot of pressure at some point. But overall, it was a hard-earned point at home with one less man. And I looked at him afterwards, and I'm nothing but proud of their effort, and that's something to grow on, because that's character. You can't just give up and stop playing and stop believing. We actually had chances, even when we were down a player, to get that goal and get a win. Overall, it's we want to get the win, but we'll take a tie, a hard-earned fought tie, and move on.
How important was it to still be opportunistic to make sure, to keep them kind of from being overly aggressive with the man advantage?
You have to, and that's what I told them at halftime. We had to continue to try to score a goal. We had to continue to try to press them and make it difficult on them, which in turn you're going to get tired. And as we got tired, we kind of dropped off a bit, and that's when they had some of their chances. But I was proud of them because we did continue to play. We continued to believe that we could move the ball and get opportunities on counters. Some very well executed counters that were very unlucky not to get a goal. Overall, I'm happy.
This is the second game run where you felt like you left some chances out there. How do you get the team to stay focused when they feel like they should have more points on the board than they do?
Hunger. They should be just even more hungry to get the goals, and that's what I want them to feel. Well, I told them, you deserve the rest. We'll wake up tomorrow hungry, ready to get ready for a win on Thursday, and you just have to be hungry for that. And you got to also know that you're doing the right things. We just got to execute a little bit better right in front of the goal.
What's the adjustment with Joel? Those were two really aggressive plays. You obviously want that, especially in the box, but it ends up being costly. Like,
Yeah.
how do you find a balance with that?
I mean, you can't. I mean, with Joelle, she is an aggressive player. She's not. There was no malice whatsoever in either of those. You know, and I ask her to be aggressive, but you got to be careful also, and you got to be very careful when you have a yellow. So we'll look back at the video together and we'll talk it through and learn from it. But I don't want her aggression to go away. I just want her to learn from the type of aggression and just being a little bit more cautious at times when you're going in. And so you know, it's a balance. I feel for her because she's, I mean, just a hardworking, gritty, aggressive player that, you know, made 2 mistakes, and I trust her still. I mean, she'll sit out a game and she'll be ready for the next one.
You Keelan had a couple huge saves there. How did she impact your ability to have that counter?
Yeah, I mean, I say it all the time. Those are things that we expect of her, and she has that presence in the back, and she had a solid game from just even having the simple saves, being clean with her hands, the second saves, but she made that huge save there at the end, and you know, that's what we come to know, that's Keelan. Again, she's not perfect, but we sure trust her.